If you train balance just by standing on one leg, you're missing the point, because balance doesn't live in your muscles, it actually lives in your nervous system. And if you don't train your eyes, your inner ear, your brain won't get the information it needs. So that means slower reactions, more stumbles, and greater risk of falling. And it's not just really about the falls, it's about the freedom that you're able to do the things that you love to do. So if you train balance with a brain-based approach, you will be able to hike, ski, play pickleball, basketball, whatever favorite activity you love to do for a long run. So if you want to be able to do all these for the long term, you have to use a brain-based approach. Welcome, I'm Heike Fallon. I'm a personal performance coach, a neurosports therapist, and the founder of Expand Health. For over 30 years, I've specialized in brain-based holistic approach to health and personal performance. And today I share the best single exercise to improve balance at any age, because you should start super early. So simple, powerful drills, exercises that directly train your brain's control center so you can stay more upright, confident, independent for years to come. And because when you train your nervous system, your body follows. Most people think it's only about weak muscles, but it's way more complex than that. Balance is actually a brain job. So your muscles only carry out what orders they get from the brain. So the brain, on the other hand, relies on three main systems. As I mentioned, the visual system, so your eyes tell you where you are in space. Your vestibular system, so your inner ear senses where your head is and any motion, acceleration. And your proprioceptive system basically tells you where your limbs and your body is in space. And it does that through small, tiny sensors in the joints and gives you feedback to the brain that way. The brain then compares that information, interprets it, and decides what to do with it. So then it tells the body what to do. So here's the problem. When we age, vision usually becomes a little more blurry. Vestibular hair cells may die off. Those are the little hair cells that recognize the fluid movement, and joint sensors become less sensitive. And basically, there's less good quality and quantity data coming into the brain, and that makes that brain challenging as far as making decisions what to do. So that shows usually up in hesitation, wobbling, stumbling becomes a little more frequent. So the brain interprets that as a danger, as a threat. So usually creates that we feel more fearful around movement, and we don't want to move. We move less because we're afraid of falling. And when we get in this vicious cycles, right? So really cool part about it, you can interrupt this by training the system that feeds the brain with input. And that's exactly what I will do with you today. So the first one is the visual system. Again, it's actually in the survival hierarchy, number one. So your eyes are the most dominant input for your balance, really. If vision is sharp and steady, the brain feels safe. Particularly, it's taken a steady horizon. It's very important. So if the vision is unstable, the brain feels more threatened. So we're going to do a visual focus drill. So stand tall, feet shoulder width apart. Use a pen if you have. Hold it right at eye level, and we're going to be keeping the head still and going to slowly follow the pen to the side, 3 times to the right. Follow the pen with your eyes, and then we're going to do 3 times to the left. Good. And then we're going to tilt the pen. And we're going to keep, again, the head still and going to go up. And this time we're going to go all the way down, up, down. One more time. Excellent. If that made you feel uncomfortable or dizzy or anything like that, obviously stop. Try this seated, see if that makes you feel better, or try it even lying down. Now, if this was easy for you, give it a try standing on one leg. You might just, need a little bit more challenge. You can also do this with a head rotation and follow the pen that way. The key is we're training the eyes and you're really training the brain, because how it activates your brain when you're moving your eyes. Next up is the vestibular system, definitely also very important for the survival system. So there's actually tiny organs in our inner ear for your balance, and it senses acceleration, tilt, rotation, and it sits really deep inside. And when your vestibular functions are weakened, you might feel dizzy. Most people know it as vertigo. You might, even quick head movement make you feel uncomfortable. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do head turns in with a fixation. So you stand nice and tall, pick a target now in front of you. I'm going to use my camera. You're going to keep your eyes on the target. Don't lose that. Stand nice and tall. And now we're going to basically go side to side, keeping the eye on the dot, or on the camera in my case. It is a little dot. Good. And up and down. And again, if this does not make you feel too good, do it seated. Otherwise, if this felt pretty good to you, try to go through the diagonals. Up and down diagonal, this way or that way. Right? So we can do those diagonals, horizontal and vertical. And again, if that's even still too easy for you, give it a try with your feet together. Give it a try on one leg or in a lunge position or stride position. Play around with that if you're already doing pretty well on this. The key here is that it trains your vestibular ocular reflex. I know that's a big word. It's the fastest reflex in your body, and it fires in milliseconds to stabilize your vision as your head moves. So it's a very, very important one for survival, because without this reflex, the world would be like bouncing up and down every time you move. It would be really uncomfortable. So that would be really exhausting to the brain, because it needs a lot of brain power. So we would not move much then at all anymore. So strengthening the VOR, the vestibular ocular reflex, gives you a steadier vision and really more confident in your movement. Give that a try. And now we're going to move on to the proprioceptive system, actually more integrating it with the vision and vestibular system. So what we're going to do now again is stand nice and tall. This time you can use your thumb. You look at your thumb at eye level, and all you're going to do is small little squats right here. A few more. So we're having up and down movement, which also activates the vestibular system while we're also moving our joints. Then we're going to give it a rotation. Make sure the eyes stay on the thumb, and your thumb always stays right midline with you as you're rotating. So you can rotate the whole body, so the whole upper body. Again, do it slow if it makes you dizzy. Do it seated. We can also do this to the other side. And that is when you combine visual vestibular work with movement. You can, if that again was a little hard and made you not feel comfortable, please sit down and do it seated. If that felt actually really good to you, give it a try with lunges. You can do lunges to the front, you can do lunges to the side, you can do them with a rotation. There's lots of options. You can even go up and go back. So give it a try. So why does this work better than traditional balance training? Well, because muscles don't control balance. The nervous system does. So if your brain receives clear, accurate data, it sends clear, accurate commands. So if your brain receives fuzzy input, you hesitate, you overreact, or you underreact, and that often causes falls or, bumping into something. So think of, when you're walking on a gravel path, right? If your eyes clearly see the rocks, your vestibular system tracks head movement, and proprioceptive senses the ground, and it's no problem to walk on something unsteady. But if those systems are weak and the brain struggles, it starts to guess, because it only can do the best guessing depending on the information and input it got. And that not so good guessing at times can cause falls. So that's why training inputs is more effective than just strengthening the muscles. And here's some general guidelines. Do these exercises 3 to 6 reps. One perfect rep is better than 10 sloppy ones, and ideally do them multiple times throughout the day. Always stop if you feel, dizzy, fatigue, you getting a headache or anything like that. Obviously, reach out to your doctor first in order to make sure you're cleared. But the key is consistency, not necessarily intensity. Start simple, start easy. Practice every day, and within weeks you feel more steady, and within months you might feel even more confident. So remember, true balance starts in the brain, and if you ignore the eyes and the ears, you're risking really more falls, more dizziness, more hesitation. But if you train them very well, you can do a lot more for long term. I'm Heike Fallon, and my mission is really to help you live longer, healthier, feel stronger by training your brain, not just your body. So if this video was very helpful to you and you feel like you know somebody that can benefit from it, please share it with someone that you love that can benefit from this. And as always, there are some links below if you would like to get a free gift so you can download a PDF and start doing this today. Your future self will thank you.